This is Dr. Michelle Oakley of UConn Vet, and I'm talking to Jim and Florence on the forum.
Hi, everyone. This is Jim Jax, and welcome all our fans again. Last week, we want to thank everybody for listening to our podcast with Gigi Garner. What a great show that was. You guys really came out for that. And one of you even said, shame on us for taking so much time off. But James Garner's daughter is doing such good work. We're going to be doing some stuff in the upcoming week for her animal rescue fund and her dog rescue fund, because that's obviously so important. But Florence, boy, shame on us for being gone and taking time off. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, and I also got a little bit of a backlash because people were missing our show. I had some of my friends and family members who are actually out of state who let me know. They said they really, really missed the forum. So we did need a little bit of a break. Sometimes you need to take that break just for yourself. We're back now, and everyone's really excited. And in particular, they're very excited about our next guest because, back by popular demand, everybody wanted to hear from him again. And you guys let us know between the DMs and the emails and even on social media, just publicly saying they wanted this man back. So we have him, Colin Macy-O'Toole from Below Deck Med. Welcome, Colin. Your fans have been waiting for this.
So how are you doing, Colin?
Good. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Colin, the first thing and the most important thing we want to get to is, what are you up to? I know you have some things in the television world and some other stuff that you're working on that you can't discuss. It's very hush-hush. But what can you tell us about the things that you're working on right now?
So I took your advice. Actually, I started my own podcast. I want to say a couple of months ago, called Radio Check with Colin Macy-O'Toole. You can just search that on Apple Podcasts.
I loved it.
SoundCloud.
I loved
it. Thank you.
I listened to every episode.
Thank you. I'm trying to still get some notes from you guys. So I listen all the time as well. So thank you for that. But yeah,
Sure.
I'm just talking about all the Below Deck shows. You know, there's definitely a couple Below Deck podcasts out there which discuss the episodes and everything, which is great. My focus is, because I guess I'm in the Below Deck realm now, I try to get the actual Below Deck cast on, and I think it's easier for me to do that just because I was on the show. But I think more people want to hear about their experiences personally instead of like a episode recap, which I think most people do on their podcasts. So, so I just try and reach out to various cast members and talk about, maybe some behind the scenes stuff. And I think a lot of people want to hear that, which is, so I've gotten a lot of positive feedback so far, which has been great. And and then I've been working on, just pitched a show. Not going to get too much into detail, but I'm in talks right now with that. And I'm hoping to get the okay on that soon. And I'll keep you updated on that. And then I just got offered to do my own radio show on a New York radio station.
Wow!
So,
Congratulations.
So I got a couple of things. I got a couple of things going on, and then so I just have like my hands in different projects right now, and it's been a lot of fun. I don't know what I'm doing, but it's a lot of fun.
That's the great part of it, is just be you, and I think that's the thing. People say all the experience you have and all this stuff. I have no experience. I'm doing this on the fly. I'm learning as I go on. I talk to so many people that are successful, and that's kind of, I think, the refreshing part about you, Colin, is you're not kind of a part of the machine, the corporate machine, and I think this is what makes your show and what you're doing very genuine. And we want to give a big shout out to your mom and dad, Robin.
Thank you.
We had Robin on the show. We loved it. And so big shout out to your family.
Thank you.
Now, Below Deck Med, a lot of people that talk about the show, who are you staying in touch with? Who do you consider kind of good friends with from the show? And who are kind of the people that you see once in a while?
Well, I obviously Joao and I are obviously besties. Mm-hmm. He's been traveling lately. I think he went home to Zimbabwe for a little bit. He's been hanging out with his girlfriend Michelle for a little bit, traveling all over the place, which is nice. So he's doing really well. He's got some things in the works as well. I always talk to Anastasia and Aisha, just kind of popping in, just make sure everyone's doing all right. I think I saw Ben and Kate at AvoCon in November.
Mhm.
That was a great, crazy time. He's doing well. He's doing all these events as well. Yeah, and I still talk to some people even from the first season. Brooke is doing well. Casey, everyone's doing great. Jamie's still in Florida, so I just try and just take a couple minutes, once in a while, just be like, yeah, make sure you're doing all right, and everyone seems to be doing really well.
Yeah, they're all very nice people. I see Brooke or Jamie and Casey, and they seem like very nice people. So I'm glad they're doing
absolutely.
well. And Joao is now a captain, right?
Yeah, he is a captain. I want to say in Miami. I always get Miami and Fort Lauderdale confused because they're like right down the street. But yeah, I believe in Miami he's out of. But yeah, he's been running his boat. He's been working like crazy down there, and he's been trying to upgrade his license now. So he's been taking classes for the past couple of months. He's been working his butt off and just trying to get that same license as like bigger, like mega yachts like Sandy and Captain Lee. So, he's working. It's a lot of hard work and he's going crazy, but it's Joao. He's a very hard worker and I know he'll get there in no time.
A lot of people have been asking about licensing and wow, don't they have to get yeah, they are. And that's why Joao's doing it because these are obviously very expensive boats and ships. And like I said, you have to know what you're doing. Parking it. I mean, a couple times Sandy and Captain Lee have put it in places that I can't believe, just feet to each side. So it's pretty good. Yeah. Now, another question people were asking, did you ever feel on the show, obviously they do so much footage. Did you ever feel on the show that, wow, I wish they wouldn't have edited it that way? It kind of made me look weird or look different or look bad. Did you ever kind of feel uncomfortable the way the show was edited once in a while?
For me personally, I don't think I was actually, one thing, it wasn't even really like a bad thing, but the first season in Italy, it was the charter guest's birthday, and I asked production to rent me a guitar. And so they got me a guitar, and I wrote a birthday song. It was like a 2-minute birthday song where like everyone starts clapping and singing along. And it wound up being, it was so awesome, and they cut it out. And I was so pissed.
Oh,
like, damn it, that would have been so awesome if they aired it, But no, they didn't. But for the most part, like, looking bad or anything, I think I was fine with everything. Maybe Joao got a little bad rap his first season, talking about Conrad or over Conrad or whatever, maybe a couple times. But for the most part, everyone is exactly how they are on the screen, It's a real show. There's minimal editing. It's just the way it is. And people really act like that, sadly. That's why the show is so good. I think it's because it's just so authentic.
Yeah, I think that, let's face it, Colin, if you'd have took the guitar and busted someone over the head, they would have kept that sucker in. But just singing a nice song, making someone feel good, that doesn't make Bravo's cutting floors. So that's
yeah. I realized that real quick.
Now, I think in these shows, to be fair to the castmates, because, boy, it's easy to go on Twitter and destroy people for what they say or how it's perceived. To be taped, if us fans on Twitter were taped all the time and we're shown all the time and everything we say and everything we do, and then put that tape on Twitter, we would get destroyed the same way that you're destroying these guys. So when I watch these shows, I don't really get too judgmental. I don't say, this guy hates women or this woman's a pain in the butt or whatever. I look at it kind of as a whole, and I look at how I would kind of perceive it if I was on the boat and I was working at it. So I think sometimes when people get really nasty online, slow your jets a little bit, slow your roll, realize that this is a very difficult thing to be taped 24/7. And to have people judge the way you look, the way you dress, the way you act, the way you drink and eat. And then when you're drunk, a lot of people when they're drunk aren't very nice people. So it's just I think people need to kind of calm down online sometimes, Colin, when they look at you guys in these shows, because I think people get a little carried away. I don't know, maybe you disagree, but I just think
No, I mean, I agree. I mean, it is hard, and the one thing that bothers me is when people online say, "Well, this is what you signed up for." Yeah, it is what I signed up for, but at the same time, like, you don't have to. I don't know. I'm a very positive person. You don't have to drag somebody down. Like, it's not like, if you look on all the guys' Instagram accounts, every single person is basically saying the same thing. Like, you suck, all this stuff, you're garbage. I'm like, all right, so like, he's heard this before from 5,000 more other people. You're thinking like you're 5,001. Like, now he's gonna get the point. You know, it's like just like you know, that makes you feel better. You know, for attacking like a 20-year-old. You know, so stuff like that bothers me. Like, yes, everyone's gonna have comments or everything, but like when you're DMing somebody like, you know, F you or go die, you know, all this like hateful stuff. It's like, you got, I mean, yeah, like, yes, you may not approve of someone's actions, but look at yourself in the mirror. Like, what are you doing? Bringing down these guys, and you have nothing else to do but to DM this person. And it's just crazy, just a crazy world we live in. And like I say, I'm more of like a positive person. I'm always for positive messages, or even like Sandy. Captain Sandy was great on Twitter. If someone messes up, she's like, yeah, you know, like this happened, but, you know, I think, like I always say, athlete answers. Like, yeah, we lost, but we'll get them next time. Like that type of thing. And Sandy's very good with that. She's like, yeah, like he might have messed up, but, you know, give him a chance or whatever. He gets better and all that stuff. So I'm very positive, but yeah, just bringing someone down just to make yourself feel better. It's sad that there's a lot of people out there that do that.
Yeah, I completely agree. Now, I wanted to ask about your mom. Your mom is the nicest, sweetest lady. Jim and I had the honor of speaking with her, and she has always been your number one fan, so supportive of you. She's been wonderful to us, you know, online, and always saying hello and retweeting and giving us her support. She is just the best lady. I wanted to know, how is she doing? I know her and your dad are currently on vacation, because I saw some photos and she communicated with you. And she said she missed you. She's like, we're having a great time.
Of course.
Just wanted to know, how's your mom doing?
They're good. My mom and my dad, they're doing great. They're so they're both retired teachers. You know, ever since they both retired, I think from November till March, they island hop in the Caribbean. So for like, you know, a week at a time. So yeah, they just came back. They came back yesterday or 2 days ago from Turks and Caicos. 3 weeks ago, they just came back from Antigua. I forgot where they're going next. In a couple of weeks, they're going, I think, to the Bahamas or something like that. But yeah, they're doing really well. They're just enjoying life. And yeah, my mom specifically, she's doing really well. She's still having fun with the show. They went to dinner in Antigua, and the waitress goes, "Are you Colin's parents from Below Deck?" And they're like, "Yeah." So like, no matter where they go, they're literally in the Caribbean, and all these people are noticing them. So they're having a lot of fun, and I'm just very thankful for their support, as well as you know, they're having a lot of fun with it. So it's been great.
I really enjoyed when learning more about Courtney from Below Deck, and I think that's why your show is so good, because you could kind of get that in depth. They trust you because they feel like you're one of them. And I think it's really good, because I have to be honest with you, she bothered me a lot. And until I kind of got to talk to her, how her feeling was, because she just seemed like when she went on a date with Brian, it was so uncomfortable. I literally had to change the channel when I need 5 day, you know.
Right.
Oh my God. And she, I'm so tired. I'm just can't stay away. I felt so bad for the guy, because we've all been on dates where people literally act like they want to be somewhere else.
Right.
It was uncomfortable. So I did, and she is self-deprecating sometimes, and I thought that was kind of good. So I think that's why your show kind of is I've enjoyed it, because you kind of get a more in-depth thing and get their point of view. And they know we all have quirks. We all have our little issues with our personalities and stuff. And I think what I liked about her is she was more down to earth than I thought she would be. And that was a fun talk. So I enjoyed
well, thank you. I
learning
that.
about her.
Yeah, Courtney's great. She's a sweetheart. And you know, I do agree with her in the sense, like, we work 14, 15-hour days. And after, like, we drop the charter guests off, after we clean the boat, we only have a couple of hours before we go out to dinner. And, like, we usually just try and sleep. You know, that's what I did every time. So, I mean, I understand, like, you know, she didn't get, you know, she's probably shot. We are tired. We work a lot. So I did get her sense. But, I mean, I probably would have put on more of a fake acting face to at least make Brian feel a little better than she did. But no, she's a sweetheart, and she's really funny online if you follow her.
Yeah, she's good. And so she kind of won me over because I was really like, oh my gosh, who is this girl? You know, who does she think she is? And I think that's how she comes off. And that's why in the show, that's why your show could be so valuable, is kind of getting the inside thought about what's going on. And now the 300-pound elephant in the room, Below Deck. I stopped watching. I have to admit, the last month, I just couldn't handle it anymore. So much negativity. What did you think of the show this year? I don't want to put you on the spot too much, but what did you think about everyone's actions and just kind of just a real bad negative spirit on this show? And it was really uncomfortable. I don't know if you felt the same, but it was uncomfortable.
You know, it was a little awkward, especially the whole van ride, the van ride on that night out where Ashton was like punching the window. You know, Spider-Man kissed Kate, you know, from the back seat, and then he tried to like, you know, almost flipped over the seat to like try and, I don't know what his intentions were, but it looked like he was going to at least touch her when he was like fuming. Yeah, that was hard to watch. And then, you know, Kevin kicking sand in Kate's face at that last episode, and Tanner just asking Kate, you know, like 5 times an episode, when are they going to have, you know, what time are they going to have sex and all this stuff. It's like, it was awkward. Like, it was really bad. And I'm like, hey, I know I'm bad with girls, but like the way they approached it was so out of line. It was like, I agree with you. It was so awkward, and it showed. Like, obviously, those are their actions. That's not editing. That's what they did. Yeah. And you know, I interviewed Kate a couple weeks ago, and she talked about the van ride, and it was just, it couldn't imagine seeing this guy, like how much, you know, Ashton's a big dude, you know, climbing over the seat trying to like get to her, you know, in anger. I would have been losing my mind. So, you know, for her like walking off the boat, I don't blame her. You know, I'm surprised, you know, most of the girls didn't just walk off, you know. But yeah, it was very hard to watch. Yeah, like I said, this is what we signed up for, but you know, you can't, I guess you can, but you just don't black out. I think that's what it was. I think if it wasn't for the drink, if you cut the drinking out of the show, I think it would have been a good show. But most of it was alcohol related, and yeah, it did not turn out as well, I think, as they hoped.
Yeah, when he's not drinking, Ashton seems like a nice guy. When he's drinking, you want to beat the crap out of him. I mean, he's just totally different. And I think the problem I had with Ashton is, when you're a leader, you can't be trying to sleep with everybody. You can't be showing you're an idiot when you're drunk. You can't be acting the fool when you're going out. And I think and then expect people when you come back, now respect me. Now, Kate is Kate. You can have these underhand remarks. You just take her with a grain of salt. That's what she is. And she seems like a nice person. And she's done some charity work. And I don't worship Kate like some of these people do, but I think she's funny. And I think she brings something to the show. I think the problem I have with all these guys is, when I drink, I get happier. And I
That's
get,
a good thing.
Yeah, I enjoy, you know, I just enjoy life. I love the taste of alcohol, so I don't really drink to get drunk.
Right.
But these guys seem to like, we're going to get so drunk and we're just going to be so out of control. We're going to party hardy. And boy, their actions. Ashton, boy, I just, if I were Ashton to do damage control, I would go to rehab or something, or I would say I'm not drinking anymore. Right. And because that type of person's unacceptable.
Yeah, I had him on my podcast like right after that van episode, and I got so much backlash. You know, people were like, I can't believe cursing me out. You know, I'm the bad guy now for interviewing him. I had him on because I thought I was supposed to actually have him on a couple of weeks earlier than I did, and he wanted to wait because obviously I don't know what's going to happen on the show. He does. So he wanted to wait until that episode aired. So I interviewing him thinking he was going to be very apologetic and remorseful, and it didn't really come across that way. You know, I thought it would have been a good platform for him to kind of just be apologetic and just be like, I'm sorry for my actions and all this stuff. And it was kind of like a sorry, but, you know, everything was sorry, but this is what happened. Like, just suck it up. You know, just be a man and apologize for everything you did, and like, don't make excuses, that type of thing. And then I had Kate on, and it was good to kind of balance that out, to see like both sides of the story there. But yeah, Ashton, he's having a hard time. I on his Instagram, he hasn't, I remember, I think it was during Christmas time, like that whole month of December, he didn't post anything, and people were just commenting on whatever his last post was. a month before, just killing him. And I know he's gonna get a lot of crap, but at the same time, I want to make sure he was like mentally doing okay. It gets to you. I was getting hate from just doing the podcast with him, and I was going crazy for like a week or two. Just because I never really got that before. So I can understand how people just get a little, they just hide because at the same, like, that's all you can do, really. It's sad.
Oh, it is. And Florence and I talked about it, and I said, "Oh, Colin, should you do Ashton? You're going to get killed." But I thought that took guts, and I totally respected you for it, because there's times where it's easy to pile on, and we have a society, real victim society, that loves to pile on and loves to feel sorry for themselves and loves to rip on people and destroy people online. When even if I disagree with someone, I don't mind listening to their point of view. I may still not agree with them. Sure. I may still not like them, but I just think it's so pathetic to go online and say such vile things to make yourself feel better about yourself and to destroy someone else.
But Ashton and Riley together specifically, they were kind of like, a lighter and gas fluid, it was just one of those matchups that they were just never going to work, and the first season, Riley, I feel like kind of had a case, with Ross and Ashton. They I feel like she was kind of left out in the first season. It was kind of like the guys doing like all the work, and she was just kind of in the background. So I understand, but if Bosun tells you what to do, I don't care if you don't like him specifically. You got to do it, and that's just the way it is. And I think that she had a hard time with that. I'm really good friends with Riley, and she's a sweetheart as well. But yeah, she's just have to work on, I think, the whole hierarchy.
I remember, yes sir, no sirs. I do what I'm told. Why am I doing this? Oh my gosh, you just do it. That's kind of the hierarchy of especially of boats and ships. There's a really respectful hierarchy. And you just can't say, well, I think this person. I know we live in a different society where respect's weird, but I think people get way too carried away with themselves. And if the captain asks you to do something, do it. It doesn't matter if it's not your job or if it's not in your job description. Be a team player, go do it. And then that's how you get respect, and that's how people like you better.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a big fan of what was his name? The season before when Riley was first on. I think with
Tyler, Tyler Ross, Chandler was the bosun at the time.
Oh, horrible leadership.
Yeah, it's hard. And I think I always say this a lot to people as well. I think a lot of it has to do with age. I worked at the Fire Island Ferries. I started when I was 15 as a deckhand, and I had numerous ranks above me, and I became a captain at 19, and I still had bosses above me. So like going into the show, the first year I was 30, I think, and Conrad was 22.
That's what I was thinking, Conrad.
Conrad with me. Yeah, Conrad is 22 at the time, and I'm 30, but he's a bosun. So, like, I knew growing up, I know that there's rank, and I know you have to respect whatever the title is. I think a lot of these people, they start, in the yachting world when they're in their young to mid-20s, and, I'm not going to listen to this guy. This guy's a kid. Or, whatever. Titles don't mean anything to me. Like, I grew up in high school, at a young age, growing up through those ranks, kind of similar to what you did when you were younger. And you just that's how you learn, and I think that's how you get the respect of like whatever the person above you is doing. And a lot of these guys who are just coming into the industry at like a mid-20s, young to mid-20s, they just don't care. And they were never really, I guess, really taught that. And I think that plays a big part in, some of this drama, with rank and everything on the show. And
then it's wrong when Ross and everyone else, they like to sleep with Riley, but they don't really want to work with her. And I'm thinking, geez, if I were on that show, I think you did it right. Flirt, there's pretty girls,
get shut down.
there's no marriages coming out of Below Deck and Below Deck Med. There's no happy ever afters. These are relationships. What do they call them? Yacht relationships. It's about as successful as The Bachelor in creating good marriages. So Ashton, obviously, wasn't he an adult dancer?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, so I mean, there's not a lot of, and no offense to Ashton, there's not a lot of hand holding or going to church with that lifestyle.
Right.
So, but when you go to a regular job, what shocks me is just people sleeping around so much. And I know we have a different generation and Tinder and all this stuff, but I think I just don't get working with people and then trying to sleep with them and then thinking that's going to work out in a work atmosphere. It's not.
I think it's I never really understood it until I did the show. I'm not a yachtie and by any means. I'm a homebody. Like I'm like one of the only people on the show that has like an apartment. You know, these guys they bounce from boat to boat, and kind of similar to what Joao and Brooke were doing when they were dating. They were jumping from boat to boat, but because the community is actually so small, they were trying to get a job on the same boat. And that's something you can do because everyone kind of knows each other in the yachting community. So like when you have like a boatman's, you can make it work. It is obviously very, very difficult. But you know, for me who has like an actual address compared to someone that is just bouncing from boat to boat in Europe, like I knew off the hand, I was like, there's no way. Even if we were a couple, there's no way in hell I would make this work. You know,
there's no way.
Yeah, I just tried to be a little realistic about it.
Yeah, I didn't see you and Anastasia in Sri Lanka, you know, having kids.
Right.
but, so you got to be realistic, but I think that's a mature way. And let's face it, you're a little bit older than some of the other ones. They're more in their young 20s. You're in your young 30s, and so I think you had a little bit more maturity, a little bit more family background too. So you're telling me, I know Adam, they did a big spread on him. I forget which magazine about him and his van. So most of the people on these boats actually don't even have a home. They just live on boat to boat.
Yeah, they live on boats. You know, they go from boat to boat, or they live in a crew house, which is basically a house for yachties that are either just doing day charters or they're coming back from, you know, whatever trip they're doing. It's called a crew house. You know, it's like I have an apartment. I mean, a lot of people have apartments, but most people, they just live on the boat that they're working on, whatever the season is. Say it's like 6 months, 4 months long. And then, you know, maybe they'll have some time off. They crash at their friend's house and then they travel the world, you know, on their time off. And that's what they do. You know, I love traveling. I really do. But I also love sleeping in my own bed. You know, it's like the little things. I love my own bed. You know, sleeping on couches, you know, that's not really for me. But like I said, I'm 32. I think Hannah and I were like the oldest ones on the show. Yeah, so that's what they do. But that's why they, you know, when you're making money, you know, yeah, I'll sleep on a boat if you're paying me, you know, yacht money, because the money is very good, very good. And yeah, if that's something I was interested in, yeah, I would definitely do it. But yeah, no, I don't think that's for me.
What was your weirdest interaction with a guest?
Weirdest interaction with a guest. I think it was in France. It was just the all female group. And I was setting up the golf on the swim platform, and they were checking out my butt. And they're like, "Oh, you got the best ass on the boat," and I'm like, "Thank you." Like I don't know, like, you know, it's better than
your mom. Love that.
Oh,
we asked your mom
yeah.
on the show. She goes, "You're checking out my son."
But yeah, no, it's funny. You know, it's harmful, you know, flirting or whatever. But no, yeah, it's always awkward when you're talking about, you know, either physical appearance or whatever. I think Simone this past season, she had some awkwardness with like the first charter guest with the garter on her leg and all that.
Oh God, he was creepy.
Yeah, I feel bad for the women that have to deal with that stuff, and that's on a TV show. Imagine a regular charter that you're dealing with billionaires or whatever, and the females that have to deal with that nonsense. I think Courtney I had on my show, and she said that there are a lot of people that the guys will just pay the girls off to not say anything. I'm like, that is just so awful, you know. But I guess that's the reality of the world right now, which is sad.
Now, when you're looking back, Colin, was there? Oh, another question I had. Maybe this guy's being mean-spirited. He said, "Is Colin as clumsy as he looks on the show?"
That was only because of last season. You know, the first. You know, what's also what makes the show great is you put 9 random people on a boat that you've never worked with before. Just things are just randomly just gonna happen. You know, like I broke, like, you know, I don't work on these boats. So like, I'm still getting used to like how things work and everything.
Sure.
So yeah. So last season, I think it was like the first day we were leaving and I was in like the lazarette and I just couldn't see what was in front of me. And I just stepped and I fell. I just, I've never been in this boat before, so I'm not used to like the layout and everything. And yeah, and that was the first time. And then the second time, I just didn't have my boat shoes on, and I was running around the deck, and I got my toe stuck under the hatch. And that's how I fell and hurt my arm. I'm usually pretty good. I mean, yeah, I'm kind of goofy. I'm pretty doofy in real life, but not as bad as you saw on the show.
Was there ever a time that you kind of regretted going on the show? And another question we had was, is there any guest that really just you didn't like and you just made, you could say it now because you're not on the show, but
yeah.
Is there any guest that just really bugged you?
With the regret thing, I don't regret anything. I love the show. I had a really great time with it. Not only just because of the positive feedback, but I just had a really good time just in general. Everyone was so nice to me. Everyone online has just been so nice and supportive, and just the experience itself. I went to the show as a real job, which it is. I applied online, and the next day I got a call saying that they wanted me to do the show. So, saying I've worked on 2 multi-million-dollar yachts in the middle of the Mediterranean, that itself is just, I was just in shock. I've never been to Europe before, so it was just wild experience, more than words can say. And then the charter guests, I'm just trying to think of the really bad ones. I mean, the nuts ladies in Italy, they were pretty bad. There was someone else that the Persians with the Don Julio, the 1842 or whatever it was.
Yeah, I remember those people.
I think those guys, they didn't show half of what they were doing on the boat, and I think those guys, they topped it off because they were just a pain in our ass.
Yeah, they were. When you're in the service industry, you deal with people like that, and you're just like, oh my God. Kate is the classic. She'll come back with these smart mouth answers or sarcastic things, just crack you up. Is there any that you just kind of, because I think it was Zhao who said there's people that you avoid and you just kind of don't like them, the guests, and you just kind of go to the other side. Was there any situations that happened to you too where you just said, oh my gosh, I'm sick of these people, I got to get away?
Yeah, I mean, I want to say in France, I think we had really good guests for the most part. I'm trying to think. I mean, like the rapper that we had, who did, like they were so nice. And it's fun. Like that's what they do. They're fun and they interact with you, which is great. I always tell people I love when charter guests, they ask, oh, where are you from? Or how'd you get into the industry? Like they ask you questions, which to me is such a positive. And, if they want to get to know me a little better, I'm going to work that much harder to make sure that your trip is that much better. And for the most part in France, I think we had a lot, for the most part, all those people were very nice. Johnny Damon, all their guys, they were super nice. And, Johnny Damon just helping us with the jet ski, which was kind of embarrassing. But yeah. But no, they're all so nice. But if they're in an attitude or, they're not getting the job, say they're just not happy with their trip, I'll just hang out on the swim platform while the girls deal with serving them inside. Because they definitely, I used to say all the time, they have the hardest job by far.
Now, Colin, I also got some questions from your fans. Of course, the ladies all had the same question they had the last time. They all want to know if you're dating. They want to know about your love life. They all want to know if you're available, because apparently they are. And basically, they just want to know how things are going for you in that department.
Yeah, I'm still dating or trying to date anyway. Like I said, I have like all these projects going on right now. I've been traveling a lot. I've been doing these gigs with Captain Lee and Kate over the country. We do kind of like these Q&As, and I host them. We just did a casino in Ohio. We're doing one in, I think, Hard Rock in Miami in a couple of months. So, I mean, I'm traveling a lot. I'm focused more on, like, my radio show. And now I have, like, this TV show that I'm pitching. So, I mean, I'm trying to date. It's still hard a little bit because they know who I am, which is kind of difficult. You would think it would be easier, but I've had people that asked me, first question, oh, like, can I get tickets to Watch What Happens Live? So, obviously they're there for the wrong reasons. I've had people's friends reached out to me. Hey, I heard you went out with my friend last night. That's awesome. So, like, obviously she told them, like, oh, I went out with Colin from It wasn't like, oh, I went out with a guy last night. It was like, oh, I went out with Colin, So that bothers me a lot. But at the same time, it's kind of fun because I've gone out with a couple people that haven't watched the show before, and I don't talk about the show unless I kind of like have to. So there were 2 times I went on a first date with someone, and there was a group of people that came up to me and asked for a picture, and they left, and my date was like, what was that all about? So, they had no idea what was going on, but it was, that's kind of fun. But it's hard. There are a lot of guys that I know that take advantage of that love the attention but it's what's the point? It's just a waste of time to me. And I just really want to find someone genuine.
So celebrity can be a double-edged sword because in one respect, it's kind of fun. But then in the other respect, you don't know if the person is genuine and if they want to be with you or with Colin from Below Deck Med.
Right,
so
exactly.
I completely understand that. Yeah, that would bother me too, I have to admit. But the other question, and again, there were a lot of questions, but overall, the question was, do you see yourself back on reality TV? Because people really miss you on TV. Would you ever consider going back to Below Deck Med if they asked, or could you see yourself doing another reality TV show?
Yeah, obviously I would definitely do another Below Deck if Sandy or Captain Lee, wants me. I'm always there for them. They're both sweethearts, and especially Captain Lee, who I haven't worked with before, but with doing these events, he's like the nicest guy ever, and we really hit it off. And he was like, yeah, if someone gets fired, if I fire someone, I'll let you know. But no, Sandy and Captain Lee, they're both sweethearts, and obviously if they need my help, I would, a blink of an eye, I would be over to wherever they are. And they're, I would definitely help them out. And then in regards to another show, you kind of have to wait, I guess, for that. The TV show I'm pitching is I'm trying to word this, it's a spinoff of a show, a current show on Bravo, and that's all I'm going to say. And right now it's in the works. It's right now in the works, and I'm hoping it gets the approval, and hopefully we start filming soon.
Bravo, could you please put people that we like on? That would be that Jim would like.
Colin is missed by
the only reason I started watching Below Deck Med was because of Colin. I said, gosh, that's a really nice guy. I'm the opposite. I don't want to see a bunch of people fighting, bunch of people I watched 5 minutes of Vanderpump Rules, and I'm just like, I got to go take a shower. These people, this is scary. And
balance.
And this is what I want, is I want people that I watch for entertainment and for I think our world has so much drama and so much negativity and so much anger that I just get really, really bored with all the stuff that's on. So I think you're a breath of fresh air on television. And I think Bravo, I know they love their drama and they love crazy people and all this stuff, but I think you're very much missed, Colin.
Well,
and you are welcome on our show anytime you want. Come on, if your show gets accepted, Colin, please come on our show and explain it and talk about it, because I think the fans would love to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys will be the first ones to know. Trust me. It'll be hopefully we're in the works right now, so hopefully if it's not too late, hopefully it gets the approval and we can start working go full speed on this thing. So, we'll see what happens.
Last question. I have friends that are on Yukon Man and other shows and they tell me literally they find out 2 weeks before the show's going to tape. One, even if they're going to have a show that year, and two, for them to get ready for the show. And now they're doing Yukon Man, and literally they did no marketing, no nothing. And all of a sudden now, after 2 years, episodes just start popping up. Is that kind of how it is with Below Deck? Do they give you any type of heads up, or is it just kind of, Colin, do you want to be on the show? We're taping in 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. I wish. My first year in Italy, I found out it was Friday night of Labor Day, and they asked me if I could fly out on Sunday.
Wow.
To go to Italy. And then France was even better. France, it was also Labor Day weekend. I just had my best friend's wedding I was at his wedding party the Friday night of, Labor Day weekend. So the next morning I get a call. It's 8 a.m. I might have had a little too much to drink at my friend's wedding.
Sure.
8 a.m., I'm a little banged up. And they're like, yeah, can you come to France tomorrow? I'm like, oh, my God, what? And so, I went back to sleep, and I woke up at, 11, 12, and I was like, I think I have to go to France tomorrow? And, it just kind of, double, it just hit me. I'm like, so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go. Yeah, whatever, I'll just go. And then I just kind of, rethought about the phone call. I was like, I think I have to go to France tomorrow. So, yeah, literally it was not even a 24-hour turnaround. I just packed all my stuff up, and we started filming the next day. Yeah, it was wild. I mean, and I always tell the people, 51 Minds, they work their asses off. I mean, there's just so much stuff that they have to deal with that a lot of people don't understand. First of all, you have to find a boat. You have to you have to get the approval of the boat. You have to find a marina that fits the boat. You have to get a hotel for the crew. You have to we get a water taxi that drives us out. Well, not us, but for the production crew, because it's an AM, PM crew. You have to go to all the restaurants and bars that we go to at night. There's all these ports, for the charter guests that we have to figure out, get licenses for. It's just nonstop. And our show is the most expensive show on Bravo, obviously. Sure. It's because of everything that's going on. They stripped this boat down. They put all these wires and cameras. They're there for months, a month or two beforehand, just working nonstop. And it's the casting is the very last thing that they do because they just have so much else going on. But it's a crazy world, and I think that's why the show is so good, because they're just so intricate with details. And so the cast, I mean, it'll come, but I think the bigger picture is if there's no boat, there's no show, essentially. So priorities first, but no, I wish I had 2 weeks.
Bravo did fly you first class too, right?
They did not.
What?
Actually, no, they did not.
Bravo, you cheapskates.
No, I mean, if I get called back again, I'll demand a little bit, at least to business class, at least.
I want to see you off that plane with sunglasses, a big cigar, and out of first class with 2 women on each arm, Colin. Come on.
No, I mean, I'm a sleeper anyway. All I'm going to do for 6 hours is just sleep the whole time anyway. So, no, it's fine. It's fine by me.
One of your ex shows, Jal was asked, "What you got to hate something about Colin?" He goes, "Yeah, he goes to sleep at 10."
I go to bed really early, but I also this is something I don't really tell people much. On the show, we do anchor watch. So someone is always a deck crew is always up, in the bridge, just making sure the anchor doesn't drag or anything like that. And I always did the 4 a.m. shift because I always went down. You go down between 10 o'clock ish, and because of that, I don't really have to deal with the charter guests. I was like, I'll go to bed now, wake up at 4 o'clock. There's no one up. I'm basically hanging out. I'm texting my parents because at the time it's a 6-hour difference. So it's 9 o'clock, 9 p.m., in the States. So I was like, yeah, I'll do the 4 a.m. shift. No problem. So I always went to bed early and just, tried to get away from the charter guests a little bit. But that was my little getaway.
Sure. See, you and Courtney would be a great couple. You guys would go to sleep at 9, get up at 4. It'd be great. But thank you, Colin, for being on our show. Florence and I so much love you and your family. One of these days when we're in New York, we'd love to meet up with you, have a drink.
Please do.
Oh, that would be so much fun. But please keep us abreast. Let us know anything we could do for you. We're going to be putting this out on Tuesday. And please check out, binge listen to his shows. And we're going to be promoting a lot of the things that Colin has up. And fingers crossed that his show for Bravo will be posted. Bravo first class. But don't be cheap. Andy gets everything. Come on, give it. Colin's important. So anyway, Colin, you take care. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, just follow me on Instagram, Colin _Macy-O'Toole, or Twitter, Colin Macy-O'Toole. And then just subscribe to my podcast, Radio Check with Colin Macy-O'Toole.
And we'll be posting all these next week. So please support Colin. I know a lot of Bravo fans out there, and we love you guys. You guys are interesting. Some of the things I get from you is very interesting. Some are very long, but I read everything you send us, and we appreciate all you do. But thank you so much, Colin, and you're a friend of the show.
Thank you,
and
guys.
anytime you want to come on, thanks so much. All right, you take care.
Thank you, Colin. Thank you.